an incredible, when they were completely out of ammunition, with not a single bullet or mini ball left, he ordered a downhill bayonet charge
Wow.
that he led.
Yeah.
And that was the stunning victory, which led to the holding of Little Round Top, which
Right.
led to the holding of Cemetery Ridge, which
Right.
led to the holding of Gettysburg and the victory at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And for that, he won the Medal of Honor.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a great story. It really
Yeah.
is. I mean,
Yes.
if you're interested in history at
Oh,
all,
well,
slightly,
yeah.
it's
I
a
like
compelling
history.
story.
My husband is
yeah.
a very big history buff. But let's go on to, do you also have your book in electronic form? Do you
I
sell-
was, this book was, the publisher called and said, it is available in ebook form. And I have to decide whether I want to do that. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
it's really a good thing because it doesn't cost you anything.
No, it doesn't
to do-
cost
to
anything,
do
even
it.
though
And there's no printing of the book?
no printing, but the profit margin is much smaller. You get pennies compared to dollars.
You set a certain amount, I think, for your book, and then
Right.
you get a percentage, and they get a percentage
Okay,
as well.
yeah, I have to decide. So,
Yeah,
so you're saying, hey,
I think it's a good thing.
yeah, do it.
I do.
Okay,
I have it on.
okay, I could do it at any point. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, great. Now, let me ask you, do you think your books are as successful as you had hoped they'd be?
No. No.
It's
But,
tough unless
you
you're a
know,
celebrity.
writing, and you probably know this,
Yeah.
Karen, is a true existential experience.
Yes.
Albert Camus, you know, in his philosophy said, there's no guarantee or promise of victory or reward.
Right.
The reward has to come from within
And within yourself.
by
Absolutely.
doing something that you think is worthwhile and important. And if
Right.
you can do that, that is the reward. Don't expect the payoff at the end.
No, you
that
can't.
may or may not come.
Not as a writer,
That
unless
may or
you
may
get
not
very
come.
lucky, or
Right,
you're in the right
right.
place at the right time.
Exactly.
Persistence. J.K.
Persistence,
Rowling was.
determination, effort.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite playwrights, finest American dramatist, as far as I'm concerned, was Arthur Miller. And in one of his plays, not as well known as The Death of a Salesman or All My Sons, it takes place in the Great Depression. And this family is down and out. They
Yeah.
have to sell all their possessions, all their belongings, because they can't live. So
Right.
they call this old man to examine everything and make an offer. I'll give you $10 for this, $5 for this, and so on. And he cleans them all out. And at the end of the play, the younger man says to the old timer, "Good luck, old man." And the old man turns and says, "Luck, good or bad, is something you never know until the last second."
Until you actually
Until
get
the
it.
last second.
Right.
And I thought about it. Sometimes something happens to you and you say,
Yeah.
boy, what a lucky break.
Right.
This is great.
Right.
Then when you think back, you say, you know, I probably would have been better off
Right.
if that didn't happen.
It's true.
And there are times you say, oh, what a bad break I got. That was terrible. Then you
Yeah.
look back and you say, you know,
It happened for a reason.
yeah,
Right.
it turned out okay.
Yeah.
So, and like Branch Rickey, who was the owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers when Jackie Robinson, and I just had an article published in Newsday about that.
Oh, yes.
Right after the inauguration, once said, luck is the residue of effort and hard work.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
So there's a lot of hard work, as we
Yeah.
all well know.
Right.
But
you
it
got to
is-
make it happen sometimes.
You got it. But the effort and the determination, you shouldn't do it because you expect a big payoff at the end.
Right.
You do it because you think it's worthwhile and purposeful.
Right.
And it's something that's important to you and hopefully in time
Absolutely.
to other people.
Yeah.
T.S. Eliot, when he wrote The Wasteland, they said to him, what do you mean by that? By the wasteland? He said, hey, I only wrote it. You interpret it.
Right,
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I wrote it. If you
Right.
like it, that's great. If I hope more and more people like it. So
Right.
to say, do you think I've been successful? It's a two-part question. As far as commercially, not as nearly as I mean, it has never made me rich or put me into another category.
keep your
but it keeps
day
my
job.
pockets jingling a
Right.
little.
It's a good feeling to know
Keeps my
that,
pockets
that people
tingling.
are reading your books and
Yeah,
you're getting
no
the
doubt
message
about it.
you want them
And
to
I get
hear
calls and
Right.
people who've read it and
Yeah.
letters or emails and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially from from this Brooklyn book, I get a lot of response from that.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what would you, as an author, and what you went through to get published, what kind of advice would you give to other aspiring authors who are going to go through the same thing or want to go through? What is the most important thing you would like to tell them? People who are trying to get their book published, or somebody who's writing a book now?
Well, I think it's really, again, that persistence and determination and stick-to-itness, and don't be afraid of rejection. Don't. I
Right.
mean, I have a stack of rejections from that I could wallpaper my bedroom with.
Yes.
And I keep them as a badge of honor. And
Yeah.
you know, some of them are simpler forms, no thank you, but no thank you.
Right.
Others are rather nice letters and
Yes.
encouraging letters and what they liked about it and so on and so forth. But all you need, you know, it's like when Bill Clinton and George Mitchell were trying to solve the problem in Ireland, when Northern Ireland and were at war for 300 years.
Yeah.
They were at war for 300 years. And George Mitchell said, you know, they could say no 300 times to me,
Yeah.
but they only have to say yes once.
Okay, that's a good
They
thought.
only have to
As
say
we're winding down.
once. And okay, so all you need is that once.
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going to get the break.
Right.
The first book I went to. I'm the vice president of the American Italian Historical Association. So some years back, I went to see a movie called Christ in Concrete, based on a book written in 1939.
Okay.
Christ in Concrete by Pietro di Donato.
Okay.
That book was wonderful, won the Book of the Year award, and Pietro di Donato, I met, he's the guy who says, I like what you have to say. I'm going to give you the name of my agent, my literary agent,
Oh.
Bertha Klausner.
Talk about luck.
Right. Call her, and she's the one who directed me to another agent who published the book for
Look
me.
at that.
This book and that book.
Yeah, you have to be, like you said, the people that you meet in your life.
Exactly.
And then you have to be in the right place at the right time.
Right.
A little luck, and you have to prepare yourself. Too.
Gotcha.
So it was great
Right.
having you on the show, and thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
A pleasure.
This time went very quickly.
It did go fast, didn't it?